Leave your video on and hello. Hey there, folks. Hey, Alison, Kath, Nisha, welcome. Got more people coming on. Hello, hey, David, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, Jocelyn. There's Gary as well. Excellent. Got Charlie. Charlie on there. Hey, Trent. Russell, hello. Hey, Billy. Good, good. So as you come on, just pop into the chat. So you look down the bottom there, you're going to see the chat. Just put in there and just say hi. Maybe put where you're from. That would be good. And we can, we'll just wait a minute or two because it's about, we had nearly 80 people registered. So we'll see once we get a bit of a quorum, you could say. So we've got Nisha coming in from Perth there and David from the Gold Coast, which is great. So yeah, just pop into the panel, into the chat there. That'll be fantastic. All right, we've got, hey, Heather. We've got Ian Carr as well. So that's great. Good stuff. All right, so a few more still coming on through, which is good. And so just while we are waiting on a few more, so actually today there's actually a couple of really interesting things. So I've managed to get a guy from eBay, Ian Bentham, who's going to be joining us as well for a bit of a Q&A. Well, I'm questioning him at least, so so that'll be great to get his perspective on eBay, and also just before we kind of get into things proper, I've also invited Ashley Hudson from Retail Global. Now, some of you may or may not be aware, but we're running an event down in Queenstown on the 17th to the 19th of August. And so this is, so Retail Global are running it and we're partnering with them to make this happen. And from an e-commerce event point of view, like this will be the biggest and best that has happened in New Zealand in a long, long time. And it's awesome to be working with these guys who are super professional and have amazing connections to put together a fantastic event. And so Ashley, can you just give us a bit of a rundown? This is just at the very start here, folks, to just sort of get Ashley to come on to just give us a bit of a background on, hey, who's going to be there and what you can expect to get from being at this event.
Definitely, thanks, Amy. Welcome, man. G'day everyone, excited to give you a bit of a rundown of the event. So we are partnering with Hamish because we want this to be a local New Zealand Kiwi event. We don't want to be a bunch of Aussies coming over telling you what to do. We very much think that the Kiwi e-commerce industry is flying at the moment. I think there's a real opportunity to share knowledge without fear amongst the community. We're really excited. The event is going to be purely on omnichannel retail. Obviously, Hamish, being an expert in the marketplace side of things, will be sharing with a lot of people. And then we're also excited to have the likes of Shopify, Magento, or Adobe Commerce and BigCommerce all attending as well. We're going to share the knowledge on the pure play side. And then for a bit more relevant today, we've got the likes of Catch, Kogan, eBay, and hopefully Amazon joining as well. So it's a chance to meet with these providers that you haven't actually, that wouldn't have been to the New Zealand very often, and you can really get the touch and feel with them. Awesome retailers we've got on stage. We've got Kathmandu, Beaubucks, Petco, Rock Shop, Honey Sticks, Village, Goldsmith, and Hot Milk. Some awesome ones there. And a few others, I think, Hamish, that we're talking about.
Yeah, so I mean, there's Bliss, there should be Hello Cup and Click Fitness and others being added all the time into the panel. So there's going to be some really, like, an amazing part of it, I think, is just the whole community aspect. And I think I did an email about this the other day, just with, you know, it's easy to be sitting behind our computers and, you know, doing what we do, but actually getting around other people who you can share and learn from is just invaluable, right? And when you do get out there, it's actually funny, COVID's kind of almost given that polarity to it, like being at home versus when you get out. When you get out, it's actually amazing. So, and build those relationships is a key part of it, isn't it, Ash?
Yeah, 100%. And at the risk of sounding like an infomercial together, one of the best,
Yeah.
on that point, it's really cool because we've got the event is 3 days. The opening day, we kick off with a drinks reception to welcome everyone to Queenstown. We've got Genoa Pay putting on drinks there. The day 2, we've got a full day of amazing content, and then Blue Jay Solutions are going to be running a drinks reception in the exhibition area. So we've got 30 tabletops for you to go meet with your local vendors. And then afterwards, we've got a block party where Klarna, BigCommerce, Marketplace, and our friends at Payoneer have booked out 4 bars on Searle Lane. It's an evening of just free-for-all fun. Not free-for-all, we're not Robins, but we're still having like a bit of fun. And then the next day we'll kick on with another full day of amazing content. And then you're in Queenstown for the weekend if you stay on. Hopefully Ian, who's jumping on shortly, will be there to join everyone as well. So yeah, Hamish, I think it's going to be pretty awesome. And to the audience today is that SG100 gets a $100 discount off your ticket. So yep. Hamish put that in the
into the chat. Yeah, SG100. So I think the tickets are normally, what is it, about $450, but the $100 off makes it more like $350, which is amazing value for the 2 days. So absolutely do what you can. I know it's it's exactly 55 days, 18 hours, 53 minutes away. So, but see what we can do to navigate getting down there, because it would be awesome to have you there. Excellent. Okay, Ash, any parting words, or we're good?
That's it. We'll see you all in Queenstown. Enjoy Ian. I think everyone who's met him loves him, so I think you're in for a bit of a treat.
Good on you. Thanks, Ash. Appreciate it. And good man. Excellent. So, all right, folks, appreciate that. That was just, I just wanted to put that in at the start there, just while before we got underway. And a lot of what we're going to cover today, and a lot of the ways and methods to be selling in Australia is, 100% congruent with, being at that event there. So actually, I'm just going to share my screen. Instead, maybe sharing the wrong one. Definitely sharing the wrong one. So I thought I'd click that. Here we go. All right, so excellent. So that's Retail Global there. All right, now let's get we'll get this underway. All right, so also I've got so Ian Bentham has just jumped on there. You might see his picture, and I'll introduce him in just a moment. So here we go. All right, so the Australian eMarketplace opportunity. Let's really, so we talked about that there. Now, for some of you who don't know me or Sell Global, I'm going to give a very quick version because I know a lot of people on here are. So we've predominantly worked with New Zealand and Australian brands, getting them started on Amazon in the USA in particular, and the UK, Europe, and also Australia. But really with the changes last year in the world, we've certainly put a lot more emphasis now onto other marketplaces. So we're working with brands to help them get set up on eBay and Catch, for example, in Australia. And when you combine that with your own website sales, it actually is a bit like an online omnichannel approach, which can be a great way to make it into Australia. And today is really to give you as much as we can in the time we've got through to the top of the hour at 3 New Zealand time, and I'll stick around for a bit of Q&A afterwards. So interesting in Australia, like COVID, as you could imagine, has changed things dramatically, and I'm not going to read all this verbatim, but you get the idea that there's it's 10 years worth of trends have happened in 10 months, and there's been a significant step change in the way people buy. And like even 1.3 million extra households who are now purchasing online. So this is a significant trend that has happened, and what we're really going to see is that this is continuing. So the percentage of online retail spend is now up 16%, and it was nudging in around 10 previously, and online goods sales up massive amounts here, right? Whatever the numbers are, you get the idea, right? There's been a significant step change. And with this, people getting in the habit of buying online, there's 28% of people are saying that they are going to continue that. And by the way, this is coming from the Australian Post report that we'll share the link in the chat as well. So, but one of the really interesting things is COVID's taught baby boomers how to buy online, and this graph here is actually from the eBay lockdown report, which we'll share with you as well. And look at this growth here in baby boomers buying online, and this is also reflected in the USA in terms of over half of the growth came from that baby boomer generation as well, which could be relevant for you in terms of what you are selling as well. So in terms of conscious of time here today and using a bit at the front there, what I would recommend is, look, go to Google, put these in. Also in the chat, Susie's just dropping in the link to the Oz Post report and the lockdown report. Just go read these. Like, it's really interesting. If you're serious about going to Australia, then this is really important information. There were some questions that came through prior, and particularly around like category. And if you look at that Australia Post e-commerce report, you'll see by category there which ones are growing. So it's look, in a nutshell, there is this rise off the eMarketplaces, and in Australia in particular, you've got Amazon, eBay, Kogan, Myer, Bunnings, MarketLink there, and Catch are kind of the key ones there, but there are some others as well. So, and as we look again at this marketplace, like, how big is this? Not just in Aussie, but this is globally, right? 62% of all web sales happened on marketplaces. Get that number, 62%. So that is a staggering percentage. And this is from Digital E-commerce 360. And look at this number. Globally, customers spent $2.67 trillion on the top 100 marketplaces, and 2/3 of that being from Taobao, Tmall, and Amazon. So the key message here is that if you're not on these marketplaces, then you're missing a huge opportunity. And at the same time, as if you're going into a new market like Australia, or if you're already in Australia, then this is, if you're not there, you're missing out on 62% of the opportunity for you. So there we go. And Susie, you just might need to drop the other another link in there. So at this point here, though, I'd like to introduce you to Ian Bentham. So let's, Ian, do you want to, oh, there we go. And I think you're also muted at the moment as well. So there we go. Good stuff. So now, so we're working with Ian with some clients at eBay, and just at short notice, like, he probably wasn't super happy about it, but it was good. And I said, hey, just a couple of days ago, I go, actually, Ian, would you mind coming on? And because I just thought it would be better to hear from Ian. And so a little bit later in this presentation, I've got some of the traffic stats and what's happening with those marketplaces I showed previously. And one of the things you'll see, eBay is clearly in the #1 spot when it comes to marketplaces. And so, Ian, look, could you just give us a bit of the background of what your role is at eBay and how long you've been there, and then I've got some questions to share or to ask.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Thanks for having me. So I've been at eBay about 5.5 years now. Back in 2016, I joined the eBay team in our small to medium business team, basically helping Australian small and medium businesses launch on eBay, scale through eBay, but also help with some of the more technical stuff around integration. And basically, multi-channel selling was kind of new to most businesses in Australia back in 2016. So I was kind of introducing people to what omni-channel selling really means in Australia. This is way before a few of our larger competitors joined the market. So kind of introducing the world of Australian retail into what it means to be in more than one place. I was in that team for about a year, and then I moved over into the enterprise category management team, where I managed home and garden for 3 years. Home and garden obviously being one of the big pillars in terms of categories at eBay. So really knuckling down and working with some of our biggest sellers, helping them grow, helping them use our customer base, helping them grow their own customer base, and also take advantage of some of the tools we offer on eBay. And then about a year ago, I moved back into the sales world and came over into the strategic partnership management role that I'm currently in. So right now, my responsibilities are bringing new sellers onto eBay in terms of the enterprise side of things, working with some of our strategic partners, some of our 3PPs in enabling certain tools on eBay for growth. The way I like to see it is if I see your name on the side of a Westfield or the equivalent in New Zealand, I suppose, on the side of a big shopping mall, then my job is to show you why eBay is the place to be.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, that's good context. And so, and for a number of people that are on this call here, they probably aren't on eBay. Would be just from looking at the list there. So why should consumer brands consider eBay as a marketplace to be selling on in Australia?
Yeah, and I think it's a very good question in that I have a website. Why should I be selling on eBay? And I think the main answer, the most foremost answer to that question would be our audience. We have a 12 million unique visitors per month come onto ebay.com.au, which roughly equates to 2 out of 3 adult Australians shopping on the site. That audience is something that obviously we all know how expensive it can be to play in the e-commerce space when it comes around Google and AdWords and all that kind of stuff. Trying to acquire new customers is a really expensive proposition. We already have those buyers on site looking for products that you guys likely sell in reality. What we also find is a lot of people are now starting their shopping journey on a marketplace. So I think an old stat, but it's probably the most recent I have is 48% of all shopping searches start on an e-commerce marketplace, as opposed to going through Google or Bing or one of your search engines. So I think the short answer is we've got the buyers. My role and what you guys can really take advantage of is stacking those shelves and making it so that when our 12 million buyers are looking for really good, unique inventory, that your inventory is available to be found.
Yeah, good. And so, as we showed some of the other marketplaces there a moment ago, what are the advantages of using eBay compared to some of the others?
Well, so we've been in Australia for about 22 years now. So we've kind of evolved our product to suit the Australian market. There are certain tools available on eBay straight out the gate that can really help you, whether it be things like promoted listings or whether it can be setting up your own events, eBay deals, which has a huge audience. We obviously run a lot of promotions, whether it be 20% off. These are things that we've kind of evolved over the past 22 years. The Australian market kind of know how to use eBay. They shop eBay regularly. It's kind of a staple. As well, if you add into that, one of the newest tools that we've added into eBay is our partnership with Afterpay, as an example. It's another thing of us reacting to the Australian market. So we've partnered with Afterpay, where we now offer that as a solution for payments on eBay, and that is kind of eBay covers the cost of that, meaning you don't have to integrate it into your website or into your own eBay account. It's just done at checkout. You get the money the same way you've always got your money when you sell on eBay. We send it straight to you, and then we deal with the Afterpay side of things.
Yeah, that's amazing. Actually, that's excellent. It's been a big trend, hasn't it? That buy now, pay later. So look, with eBay, what categories tend to do well on the platform?
So as mentioned earlier, and not to blow my own trumpet, I was managing home and garden. Home and garden is one of the big pillars of categories on eBay. So eBay's kind of known for home and garden, tech, as well as we do really well in parts and accessories in terms of the sheer amount of inventory we have in sales. Fashion and toys are growing categories through COVID. Afterpay, funnily enough, has brought in a lot of a new demographic in terms of the age of our buyer. And obviously fashion is a huge part when it comes to buy now, pay later. So in terms of categories, we sell everything, everything that you would expect from eBay. I was personally, my big surprise when I joined eBay was the amount of chainsaws that we sold on eBay was quite staggering. And obviously people took one look at me and was like, well, that guy obviously should be managing chainsaw sellers. So they kind of paired me up there, but the numbers we do in home and garden tools, DIY was staggering, as well as what people expect from eBay, which is tech, accessories, all those kind of things. A couple of tidbits, a couple of funny information is that the market's really reactive to cultural trends. And so things like the Queen's Gambit, for example, when that was released on Netflix, which is obviously a very famous chess documentary, well, not documentary, TV show, I suppose. Chess sales, chess boards, everything chess related on eBay went through the roof. Same thing when we had the Last Dance documentary from Michael Jordan, everything basketball or Bulls or Jordan related, absolutely flying off the shelves. So people come to eBay looking for the things that you expect, but they also come looking for things that they're not really sure where to get them.
Interesting. So what do you see as, like, to be successful on eBay, like what would the top 3 things be for people to be successful on eBay?
So I suppose every eBay employee you ask would probably give you a different answer on this. There's no secret recipe, but from my experience through launching small stores, launching large stores, and managing enterprise sellers, the 3 things that I always say are parity is really important. So to have us with the same inventory at the same price, offering the same shipping services. If you're running an event on your website, make sure that that's reflected on your eBay store. Parity just kind of builds a brand recognition that's hard to get across if you have a staggered pricing structure, or you have, it's free shipping on your site, but it's flat rate on eBay, for example. So being parity across all of your channels is super important into just conveying to the buyer that they are getting the best deal, or they're getting the real genuine product from the retailer or from the brand directly. The second thing I'd say would be to invest in your tech or your integration. So making sure that when you launch on eBay, you launch optimized, making sure that the whole point of launching on eBay is not to add more work, it's to add more sales to what you do. So we want to make sure that when you launch, your orders flow correctly directly into your e-commerce site, whether it be a Shopify site or BigCommerce, whatever it be. Make sure we have the right integration set up, make sure that your customer service has access to answer any queries or questions or handle any defects, just to make sure that your health as a seller on eBay maintains. And the third and final, and what I always say is the most important, is engagement. There's nothing worse than an unengaged seller on eBay, someone who just wants to list their products and then run away. We want to work with Australians and New Zealanders to make sure that anything that we roll out, you're across and it doesn't impact you in a negative way, whether it be our new payments platform, eBay Plus, which is our subscription model for buyers, the events that we run, the deals that we run, any promotions. Just make sure you're engaged and that you're open. We don't ask that every seller is involved in everything, but we do have some tools that we can kind of mold and help to make grow most seller sales on eBay.
Yeah, fantastic. So there's a few things out of what you've been saying there. So, and that engagement piece is interesting. Like even just my interactions with you and some of the others at eBay, is that there is a real sense of partnering, or how do we help you? Whereas I know with like Amazon, for example, that's just non-existent unless it's not non-existent, but it's a lot harder and there's a lot less happening completely. So that's one big thing. So being engaged, and it's like anything, there's a learning curve, but once you're in there, then keeping engaged.
It's definitely a case of, my role is strategic partnerships manager, and there's a reason that the partnership is so important in that. We know that, we could launch any seller on eBay, but if we're not helping each other, then there's no point. Like, we only succeed when our sellers make sales. Like our job is not to just get someone on eBay and then cut and run. Our job is to make sure that you're seeing performance increase, you're seeing the sales that you want, whether it be an SMB or whether it be an enterprise seller or anyone in between. We offer the same scaling levers. We really do try and partner for the long term with our sellers on eBay, and the feedback that we've got from the market, I don't like talking about competition, but the feedback that we've got from the market is that we kind of do that better than most, if not better than all. I like to say all, but obviously I think we do that in Australia better than most. And we kind of start to build all of our tools around that customization piece of how we talk to our sellers. So we want to make sure we're giving you updates monthly on your performance, whether it be some tools you can use on eBay, therapy, eBay research, just around sourcing new products or finding new buyers or updating, optimizing your keywords or your images. We try and work with our sellers as closely as possible to make sure that the eBay buying experience is smooth.
Yeah, wonderful. And then, so from there, and then you also mentioned around the technology, the integration piece, and a little bit later in this presentation, I'll share the names of some really good integration tools that can work. So that's actually, there's a comment there just from Bo saying, so you are more seller orientated and Amazon is more customer orientated. Would you agree?
That's a great question. And I'm personally seller orientated. Like my role is seller facing. So I'm all about the seller. There's a whole host of teams at eBay. Some of those teams are buyer orientated, right? And the thing that we have to do internally is work together to make sure that both of those stories are successful. I'm part of our customer centricity squad. Our centricity squad internally at eBay is responsible for making sure that the customer is front of everybody's mind. We have 12 million buyers. We have 40,000 B2C sellers, or more than 40,000 B2C sellers. So look, it is easy for businesses to be leaning over towards the buyer, but it's something that eBay, that we are really passionate with our sellers, and we really do try to prioritize our sellers.
Yeah, nice. So that's good. Coming back to that first point and around parity, like having parity there, because this is a common question, is like, do we be on marketplaces, but on our website we have some slightly better deals there that are unique that we don't have on eBay? Like, how do you so what's wrong with that idea? Like, why would you not do that? Or you're kind of saying, right, we want to have parity across the board.
Yeah, look, there is no real guaranteed way to success when it comes to these things, but there is a school of thought where you can run one as an outlet, and you can run one for everyday low price. You can run one as your promotional levers. You can do special deals on your own site. What I would say is engage with us, and we will try and find the best way to make it work. The best way I've seen on scale is to replicate ideally what you do on all channels. It can be a little bit labor intensive if you don't have that tech part set up correctly, in terms of adjusting pricing, etc. What I find is there's a huge world of sort of, there's Facebook groups, there's OzBargain, there's Marketplace chats, there's Whirlpool. If you're running one deal on one site and it's cheaper on the other, it usually gets mentioned in one of these forums, it gets brought up, and customers will always find the best way to get to a deal. When I talk about parity, I just mean as a long-term strategy. There's of course no issue with running a special on your own website. We would love to have that inventory replicated on eBay. We would also love the feedback of why you can't replicate that on eBay. And maybe, working together, we can find a way where you give eBay your best deals as opposed to giving it to other marketplaces or just running it on your own website. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's good. That helps, and it's I think for everyone listening, it's like, okay, as we look at this omni-channel approach in your own website, like being clear on that sales, on that pricing strategy and that promotion strategy is actually really, really key. One other thing that, and I know we didn't discuss this previously, is just around fulfillment. Obviously, Amazon's got FBA, which can remove a lot of that headache there. What's happening with eBay on that front?
The official line is watch this space. We are kind of investigating and working in the background around fulfillment. We know there's a growing market in Australia of sellers that do utilize fulfillment. There are a whole heap of partners in Australia that you can go to fulfill your eBay orders. Happy to probably go into more detail, hopefully when I'm there in August. Hopefully we can have a little bit more we can share then, but right now there's not much that we can actually to talk about on the fulfillment side, other than it's been a work in progress.
Yeah, no, that's good. And I noticed the Anisha's got a comment there just around Ozpost getting really expensive, hence the difference in price. And I think that's partly due to why there's a change.
Yeah, and look, the whole, I mean, it's probably a bit late to the party, but the whole market's kind of shifting. When, you know, our competitors all launched on, you know, in Australia, their promise was to solve these issues for Australia, and the issues with the Australian last mile, as it's known, it hasn't been solved yet. It can be expensive. We do have solutions internally with eBay Plus where we, you know, we offer free shipping, and we kind of push the free and express option shipping to metro areas of Australia where we know shipping is a little bit more affordable, because when you go regional, it can start to get quite pricey for sellers. So we have a really close relationship with Ozpost, and we have a close relationship with a multitude of carriers in Australia where we try and help our sellers as best we can with shipping. But you're right, postage can be an expensive thing in Australia. Yeah, it's one of those things of the country we live in over here, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right. It's actually a big country, isn't it?
It's compared to me from England, it's pretty big. It's
yeah,
staggering almost.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, well, Ian, I'm conscious of your time because I know you have to scoot, and it's 2:30 here, 12:30 for you. So I just want to say, hey, thank you for coming on and just providing just an insight there. And looking, folks, if you've got some other questions, I'll look to cover them off at the end. But well, if you're in Queenstown come August, you know, all things.
Yeah, I'm actually there for a holiday, and I think I'm going to get roped into swinging by for this block party that Ashley's just been talking about. I don't think I can miss out on that.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
But if any of the guys online have got any questions, the easy way is probably to go through you, and then we can do introductions, or we can do that. I know you've got everyone's contact details, but thank you for having me. Appreciate everybody's time, and hope to see you all in Queenstown.
Fantastic. Good on you. Thanks, Ian, so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Good stuff. Okay, so let's so that was good to get Ian on here. So let's continue on with the slides there, because there are some things around the technology and even logistics that I will be covering off as well. So let's have a look at the customer journey. And again, this is why does it make sense to be on more than just one place? And so this is typically what we like it, how we like it to be, where there's a person shopping online and they go straight to your website and then they make the purchase. Okay, so that's the linear approach, but it's far from linear how it really works. And often, in fact, like this 30% here is actually a US stat where those searching, 30% will go to Google. Okay, so they'll go to Google, they'll find you on there if you're advertising on Google, or from an organic search point of view, or they've heard of your brand, they're not sure of your website, they'll go to your website and then buy. So that's one other way as well. But also what can happen is people then start looking at your socials and even potentially Google shopping as well. So people are looking at your socials, and I'll explain why in a moment that they do that. They want to see proof. What are other people saying about you? And then they go back to your website and purchase. Or they may even purchase through, I should probably need to update that. Oh, we've got Pinterest there as well. So this is probably what most companies are looking at from an e-commerce point of view. They've got Google search, they've got their website, they've got their socials, and that's their ecosystem that they currently have. But then what actually, like in the States, and even we talked about people beginning their search on marketplaces, and it said 48%, but I'm pretty sure that's an older one, 62% of people buying. So people go to Amazon and they then just buy from Amazon, for example, okay? Or they'll go into Amazon, they'll see the brand, they'll go to Google, then they'll look at the website and maybe buy from the website. So this is actually also a lead generation strategy to get more traffic to your own website and into your own socials. And this is the key. You get them into your own ecosystem, then you can control that conversation a whole lot more. So what have we got there? In Australia, almost 90% of consumers go to Google first, Statista. That's interesting, Jocelyn. Like, that is radically different to what I had seen there, but thanks for sharing that. And I'm going to go dig in and see that. So, and then the other part here is other marketplaces as well. And so, these aren't all in Australia. Walmart's obviously not in Australia, but they're looking at other marketplaces. Then they want to compare back to, what else is happening on Amazon with that. Can I get it at a better price? They're going back to the website. They're having a look at socials. And I mean, we're getting a whole lot of arrows here, and this is almost really the point. And then people buy. So it's not linear. People are bouncing around. Okay, so why are they bouncing around? And this is really, really important to understand, and why you want to be on these marketplaces is they have a mental checklist of concerns that they want answered before they make a buying decision. And first of all is like reviews or social proof. What do other people say about the brand? What's the authentic? Is this an authentic brand? What's the story? Do I resonate with it? That's what they're trying to evaluate. Obviously, it depends on your price point and the kind of uniqueness of the product, but that is a key reason. People want to know that what they're buying, they're going to make a good decision. The second thing is price, and Ian alluded to making your pricing strategies, and if you are going to do deals, people will look in these social groups and go, where else can I get this? So price is a reason why people will bounce around as well. Then delivery convenience, and this is and cost as well. So this is a big one. And with Amazon, for example, there is, and the Prime members, they get free shipping. So that can be a big plus. And there is that 2 or 3 day delivery promise, depending on where they are. So people will they really seriously consider how much is the shipping going to be. And this plays into, I've got a little bit further down, but I'm going to mention it now, is that if you are shipping out of New Zealand, for example, and they've got to pay for that shipping, is going to take a bit longer. It doesn't need to take longer, because actually NZ Post is pretty good with that. But even the fact that it's coming from another country is a negative. And in that Australian Post report, if you have a read of that, it talked about, I wrote down a stat last night, it was like 58% of people want to buy from an Australian-based business, or where the inventory is already there, because the overseas delivery time is really hard. And even though New Zealand's close, we kind of fall onto that we're overseas piece. And then the last one is just, this will really accumulate some trust. So what if something goes wrong with my purchase? Do I trust I will get this easily resolved? And obviously, like with Amazon, for example, their customer service is great, and so people just trust that. They know they get a refund if there's any problem. But it's like you've got to look congruent, that the brand is together, and it looks like you look trustworthy online, if that makes sense. So this is why consumers are bouncing around. Then, so as you're considering this eMarketplace strategy in Australia, and look, you can go to Australia now, but it gets a bit sketchy in terms of committing to that. So you can export without travel, and this has been, so Amazon's been around now for 3 years and a bit, and it's taken a little bit longer than we might have thought to get to meaningful volumes. But so if you're only selling on Amazon in Australia, the economics or doesn't really stack up. It's starting to, but it's taking a wee while to get there. But when you combine other marketplaces and your own website, and you commit inventory to the country of Australia, then this all starts to really make sense from that overall picture. And you do, as I'll share a bit later, you get this cross-channel uplift, but being able to export without travel is actually still a big benefit of marketplaces. Also, you'll be seen by distributors, and this can be a great way to then make it into other retail stores, that you've got proof of people liking your products and what you're selling it for as well. So you're getting this real market feedback a lot faster than having to go the traditional route. And also you can lay some foundations for when, things get back to normal, but at least, be starting to have things in play. Like you can get stock into the country, you've got distribution, you've got fulfillment side of things working, you've already got your presence there, so you can then start to look at other brick and mortar retailers, for example, or other websites that could sell your products. So this cross-channel uplift idea, and this is like all boats rising, you could say, and how this crossover from that previous like consumers bouncing around, like if they are hitting Google for a start, that these bigger websites of Amazon and eBay are going to show up on the search, and even Catch will have you in the Google Shopping, for example. So if you're on those marketplaces, then that helps your search and discoverability, certainly on Google, and then also a little bit further down from the promotion point of view, you can advertise on these platforms as well. Better conversion and high buyer intent. So with marketplaces, often people, they're there to buy, they're not so much there to research. And I've spoken previously about Amazon and the high conversion rates compared to a website. So the fact that you're on these marketplaces, you've got reviews from these marketplaces, you rank well on these marketplaces, that all builds the trust as well. So you'll find that you will convert more customers because you are being seen in more than one place, if that makes sense. It's almost like the proof, it's a proof factor. Advertising opportunities, as I touched on just a moment ago. With Amazon, you've got a number of advertising opportunities, from banner ads to video to top of the search and bottom of the search, and within product listings as well. So there's great opportunities there. And the good thing about that in Australia at the moment is not many people are really doing it very well. So you can get onto page one and start to dominate some categories really quickly. And again, with people, they land on Amazon, they see your brand, they go to your website, check you out, then you can retarget them. You can get their email address for an exchange of value, and then you can start to communicate and then nurture and convert that customer down the line. So this advertising opportunity is really a key part of it as well. Then you've got customer acquisition and growth. So it is about acquiring customers that will, and you're meeting them where they want to buy. Okay, so if they're on Amazon buying something else, and then Amazon retargets them with your product, then they'll buy you on Amazon because they're already making a purchase. So you're just making it easy to acquire. And then depending on how you're fulfilling, you can be getting people to join up into your database or retarget them to purchase again. And this is a huge part of the client acquisition approach. So these are the big four reasons there as to why you want to be on the marketplaces, from those cross-channel uplift there. So excellent. And you said just a quick time check there. We are going okay on time. So pop into the chat as we go through. Any questions on this? Again, I will look at the end. So let's so marketplace selection. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to we'll have a look at a high level. He said, just going over to here. Right, so you can still hopefully see my screen. I'm just going to move a couple of the chat and Q&A things. This is the website, by the way, when you want to go there. Okay, so Amazon, we know, is the everything store. Okay, so that's where you can be selling, like most of you will be able to sell on Amazon. Then as we look at Kogan, so Kogan certainly started out predominantly as a technology related business, okay, in terms of computers, TVs, etc. But as you'll see here, just they are, whilst they have all of those, they are now moving into home and garden. And you can see here, from, a lot of these are whether you call them hard or soft goods, but you'll notice there that that's home and garden, what they've got happening there. There's even office supplies, there's baby, kids and family. So this is starting to, that's interesting. What is there? You've got gadgets, toys, video games, puzzles, Lego. So you can start to see that they are certainly building out, and then even health and beauty now. So skincare there, wellness, etc. And then sports and outdoors, and tools and automotive, alcohol and groceries. So, so this has moved a lot, and I'll show you some stats in a moment of size. So that's Kogan, and this is one here you do need to apply to sell on here. So it is curated more so than Amazon or eBay. So then we've got here, so this is, so looking at Bunnings, okay, so Bunnings has, it's there within their marketplace, so you can apply, and by the way, you just scroll all the way down to the bottom, and market link, you can go there and you can apply to register your interest now to become a market seller there. So how this works is, like, you'll see this market link, so it's kind of like a market link badge. So people will be on Bunnings and they'll be searching for office chairs, for example, and it will just show up, this is a market link product. Okay, so that's it is through the normal search, and actually Bunnings is huge. And so these are the categories here that are obviously, you know, as we know with the Bunnings brand, that is more in the you know, gardening, outdoor living, kitchen, curtains, blinds, so indoor living. So there will be, you know, if you have a good look through here, or kitchen, you know, just, I know that's probably literally kitchens, not the home side of things. So have a good search through, and because one of the key things is, look, are you actually, are your clients on here, or is there a category for you? So that's Bunnings, and then we've got Myer. Now this is again starting to expand in terms of what you can buy, and again this is an application approach. And again, just, you know, if you scroll down to the bottom here. So you've got sell on Myer down the bottom. So there's a bit of a process to work through there. I think you do need an ABN number, which you can get. Anyhow, so again, we've obviously got so there's women and men, and we've got accessories here. So if you're in the fashion side of things, then that's obvious. But then from a beauty point of view, and this is for some of you on here, this is something you could really consider, you know, from whether, you know, lipstick or skin care related products, you know, bath and body. So that's interesting what is on there. We've got kids and baby. Again, this is, you know, starting to open up, and whether it's, you know, like, actually I've got a call a little bit later with someone today in terms of they've got these like mats that'll be great for kids. We've got toys, games and puzzles. So even if you're in the in that category, and then we've got home. So, you know, this is starting to flesh out as well. There's even pets here as well. Pet accessories, outdoors, food hampers, entertainment. Probably not so much in there. There is, but then gifts as well, you know, is a interesting way to look at it. So Myer has probably been a bit of a underestimated one, and it is again starting to pick up there. So that's the, you know, Kogan, Bunnings, Myer, probably three you might not have thought much about. Look, there are some other ones as well, but this is, and then obviously Catch we've got here. So Catch are actually really helpful as well. This is a curated site, so they do a lot of email marketing as well. So it's going to be, your sales on here will be a bit more lumpy rather than even compared to some other sites. But again, you know, this is where I mean, there's all manner of categories here. Whoops, where do we have it here? So women's fashion, men's, grocery and liquor, beauty, home and kitchen, sports and outdoors, electronics, kids and baby, pets, toys and games, furniture. So we've obviously got, you know, again, you're starting to see the breadth of what is on these sites. And conscious of time, so I want to move on. And obviously Amazon and eBay, you've got those, you know, they're the key, they're the bigger marketplaces. And you know, most of you will have products that will be able to sell on there, with one caveat being that you need to be able to sell in Australia. So if you've got products that require TGA certification, like health supplements, for example, that would be something you need to navigate in advance. So I'm just going to jump back into here, and I think someone's just popped a question in there for me. Okay. Right, I'll come back to that, Arthur, in a Q&A at the end. I'll just keep on moving through here a bit. Okay, so to give you some context here, this is eBay at 67 million visits. It was up at around 84 or so in December. Like the Q4 is obviously big. So you will see a significant bump there. Just looking at these numbers, which I just pulled this week to see them. We've got Amazon at 31.93, and back here this was 44. So you notice that is like that 40-50% increase as you get to Q4. But this is just to, again, just provide some context here. We've got Catch at 7.65 million visits per month. Then we've got, I don't have the unique users on here, unique visitors like the 12 million, I think it was for eBay. Bunnings, 21 million. It's actually quite a big website there in terms of the traffic that they are pulling. You've got Myer at 9.8 million visits per month, and you've got Kogan at 9.39 million visits per month. So there's really to give you some context as it may, that I mean, like even when you just go, that's 147 million visits per month, and that's a bit lighter than what it will be come Q4. You know, that'll be up over 200 million. So it's more the message is that, you know, if you are there, well, you want to sell where people are buying. So that's the kind of key takeaway from this here in the Australian marketplace. Righto. So market selection. So just we've had a look at some of the pros and, well, a report is coming on the pros and cons, but that was a kind of a high level run through on that. So basically be clear on what your objectives are for being on a marketplace. Okay, like that's, and whether that is, look, we want to, it fits who our audience is. So we're on there because we want to build our brand awareness. We want to drive some traffic through to our website. Like literally be a customer and go and have a look around on these websites, because you may not have been able to do that being in New Zealand, and you know you probably don't buy on these sites if you're from New Zealand. So go and do that, have a look around and just see what competition is there, and you know, can you compete? And I think you'll be surprised in what you see. I touched on compliance earlier. Obviously you're in e-commerce, and so packaging is important. Will it last that journey? Commercial arrangements, this is, you've got to look at the margins and do they make sense? And each marketplace has its own arrangements and around how what percentage the marketplace will take, and if they do fulfillment as well. Amazon's really the only one that is doing the fulfillment. eBay, as he alluded to, will is working on that, and so is Catch. There will be a Catch fulfillment side as well, but it's more what percentage do they take, or what's the monthly membership, and etc. So price control, you do want to make sure that you can control the price versus, so like, you know, Amazon, if you sell via vendor, you lose control of price. So you want to make sure you can keep that distribution control as well. So if you are selling to other distributors in Australia, that you want to be putting in agreements that you'll be doing the marketplace side of things, or at least you are controlling that as best as you can. And it can be a bit of a tricky area, and that's one worth having a conversation about. And obviously your trademark, can you actually sell in the country, or is that trademark being used? So I do want to touch on, I added that one there, I didn't add the animation to it. So from Ian talked about the technology integration, and this is kind of really the glue that can make this happen, and it depends on what your current setup is, which tool is going to make the most sense. But here's a several to go and have a look at. On the left here, we've got Cadisto. So Cadisto is, certainly, well, go check out the website. Okay, it's a really simple piece of kit, and essentially you integrate the data you've already got, you get it into the software. Then for each marketplace, you map the appropriate fields, and you can add in other fields that are required. you will, you can even keep your brand assets in there, but this is part of the consistency, part of the time saving, and also that integration from a logistics point of view to make sure that you're not overselling, and also to make sure you've got the inventory reorder points happening. So go check out Kadisto. I think they've probably got the best pricing model. Omnivore, have a look at that. They do take a percent of your sales, which is one part that I'm not a fan of necessarily. Commerce3, this is a little bit the bigger end of town in terms of sales. This integrates with Salesforce. If you're a Salesforce cloud commerce for your website, then this is perfect for that. And then you've got Channel Advisor, which is getting at the pricey end of town. But make a note of these: Kadisto, Omnivore, Commerce3, and Channel Advisor, and go and have a look at their websites. You get a good sense of how this works. But this is a key part of this whole omni-channel approach, is the data control and the inventory control that goes with it. And have a look at those. Now, from a logistics point of view, for many of you might not actually have anything set up in Australia. And if you are looking at going to Australia, so we've got a relationship with a guy who has effectively a logistics brokerage where he'll look at your situation, expected volumes, type of product you've got, and then recommend the best 3PL for you. Okay, which is pretty amazing, really. This guy, he used to work at Filio, which was an Australia Post and eBay JV, and so he was there, and he's got a huge amount of experience, and so and there's potentially an opportunity for some consolidation there to get better deals as well. So this is solves a big part of the puzzle. Now with these tools here as well. So if you do want to have a conversation about that, let us know, and we've got some good, there's some good people at these companies, well, particularly Kadisto and Commerce3 are good. Omnivore can be a bit slack on their support side of things, if I'm being honest. Anyway, so let's how are we going for time there? We'll keep on moving through. So also, obviously, pricing control. This is like a central point. You can do that as well. Order management and the customer experience as well. So that's a key part for you to be aware of. All right. So mistakes that we see brands make in Australia is that letting distributors and retailers list their products on marketplaces, or worse, not even knowing the brand's already there. Like for some of you, and actually I had this the other day, where on eBay and the brand was on there and they didn't even realize it. So get control of that. Inconsistency of branding, and this is the importance of these tools, but also of actually having a proper strategy around how you want your brand to look, so that when people see you on Amazon, eBay, Catch, and your own website, that they know they're in the right place, and with your socials, right? So that congruency is really important, and it just builds trust, and people know that they're in the right place. But not only that you actually have really good content that converts. And what we really find is that Amazon has the most opportunity for your brand and product descriptions and brand presence with their storefronts and product listings and A+ content. So you do a really good job on Amazon, then you can really leverage that information there into the other channels. So that's generally the benchmark is with Amazon. Then pricing variations across platforms that are confusing, and that was Ian's point as well around parity, as he called it. So you do want to have a pricing strategy that makes sense. So that's important. Not optimizing the brand presence. So you really got to optimize it to convert. When people are buying online, all of those points there that are going to help them tick off that mental checklist that they have, that I referred to, is critical. Losing control of customer feedback. So you do want to be coordinating that as well. You've got, not being close to the delivery expectations. And I see this here as people, they're testing the water and they're shipping from New Zealand, but it suppresses conversion like massively. So, and having your inventory in Australia with a delivery time and delivery cost that is within the expectations that consumers will have cannot be underestimated. And, so this is part of, look, if you're going to sell in Australia and commit to it, you take the steps to export to Australia and do it properly. Otherwise, and look, and I know some of you will have products that you require TGA, but so you can do that cross-border without needing to comply with all of that TGA. And so that is what it is. The cost of compliance with TGA can be very expensive, but where you can, get your product into the country. Not coordinating the lead generation approach across the marketplaces and how to bring customers into your marketing ecosystem. So, I mean, some of you know that Amazon doesn't really give you the details that you can market to that person. So you want to look at how you can get them into your overall ecosystem. That's something that we can discuss. And it is thinking about the customer journey as well, and putting yourself in the customer's shoes and experiencing what it would be like to buy your product as they do bounce around. So that's really important to do. And as we look at that bouncing around approach. So in summary here, conscious of the time, we're at the top of the hour. So the key reasons that you want to be doing this is this cross-channel uplift approach. You've got the discoverability and the search aspect that is just compounds when you're on these multiple marketplaces. Better conversion, high buyer intent, you build trust, and there's also increased brand awareness with the advertising opportunities as you are there to drive them into your brand, and obviously be with the pixels where you can. Obviously that's changing. And I've had someone with a request to with many errors. Okay, right. I will just once I get through this bow, we'll come back to that. And just customer acquisition. So this is really, 62% of sales are made on marketplaces, or whether it's between 50 and 62, take your pick. It's a big number. It is a big number. So being seen just increases the probability of you being successful online. Just doing your own website and driving traffic to that is absolutely do that. And this is an and strategy, really, that you bring to your whole brand awareness. And it just opens up way more doors than what you might imagine. So, all right. And just quickly for Bo, not sure what you quite wanted to see there, but anyway, got your Google, socials, Amazon, marketplaces, and your own website. I better just move on to wrap it up. Okay, so what now for your brand? So really realizing that your presence on marketplaces like eBay and Amazon is just as important as your website. Be consistent across all marketplaces in your website with your branding and your pricing and your content. And then really you need to assess which marketplaces work best for your brand and products. Okay, so and this is something that we can certainly help you with in that initial assessment, and then also in the execution and making this work and providing all the right contacts as well. So if you'd like to book a call, if you could email Susie@gosellglobal.com. So Susie@G-O-S-E-L-S-E-L-L global.com. That would be amazing. And we'll have a chat to just see if it makes sense, if this makes sense for you, and then if it does, that we can look at how we can help you step through that. So we've got different ways that we can do this, but whether it's just providing introductions or whether it is us helping you with the whole project. So that would be great. And also remember the Retail Global event down in Queenstown. So that is about it there. So fantastic. So what questions have you got? If you have to scoot now, I thank you for jumping on, and I'm just going to stop sharing my screen now. So really appreciate you taking some time out of your day, and hopefully you found that useful. So just drop it in the chat if that was good, if you're still here. So thank you very much. And there's Bruno. So thanks very much, folks. And I've got some questions in here already, so put them into the Q&A or the chat, and we'll just answer those over the next 5 or so minutes. Yeah, so thank you very much. Appreciate it.